Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas. Hello, I'm Billy Cauthen, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Come on now, turn it up some.
Turn it up.
Hey, you're up today. You're up today, Billy.
Am I up?
You can't hear yourself?
I can't hear myself.
Man, there's something going on. You know, the ears. What it's been
It very possibly could be my ears.
2 years on this show, and what's happened, buddy, is it's blown out your eardrums. Mm-hmm. It's blown out your eardrums.
From all the excitement.
I was hanging out with Pop Thompson yesterday.
Cool dude.
Good man. And I kept hearing this. He won't mind me telling this story. We were in a car. I was driving. He was next to me, and I kept hearing this. We're on the Beltway. Is that what the Hardy Toll Road? Mm-hmm. Where do they get the word like Beltway?
It's a beltway. It goes it's like a belt.
That just sounds like
it circles. It's a belt.
Is that only in Texas, or do they have them in other states?
I don't know. I try to just drive in Texas.
Because a Beltway sounds like a Texas deal. Like, yeah, we got a Beltway.
A belt buster.
Yeah. What do you have, Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
Boy, I need a belt buster right now, buddy.
Me too.
God, dog, I miss those things. But Pop was next to me. I kept hearing this. We're on the Hardy Toll Road, and I kept hearing this high-pitched noise. And I thought it was me, and it seemed like every time I would talk, I would hear this, you know, like your ears are ringing.
Oh, I know what it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was like, what in – I said, what in tarnation is that, man? I just kept looking around, and you know, Jason and Deneen were behind me, and he's like, what are you looking for? I said, I'm hearing this high-pitched noise every time I talk. And I didn't know what it was. And then finally Pop starts messing around in his ears. He goes, oh, those are my hearing aids. I said, I didn't even know you had any on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Have you ever been around something like that? I have no idea what causes that, but I guess it was picking up my voice and it was doing something to his hearing aids, and I didn't even know he wore them. Those things are so tiny now.
They're little. They're little.
I remember back in the day, it was like, you know, when you had to get braces, you had the headgear. You had like the ear gear.
Yeah. Had a little battery pack with a wire going up.
It did. Yeah. Yes, that's right, man. And even the cochlear implant now for folks, you know, to help them hear, they've made those almost discreet now, where you don't even see them that much.
My grandmother on my father's side, she had to have hearing aids, but it was crazy because she would take them off to talk on the phone.
Huh.
Yeah, so you'd have to yell at her on the phone.
Who was this?
My dad's mom.
Oh, so your grandmama?
Yeah.
we have a guy, Norm, here at the church, and he lives over at Creekside. And love Norm. When I first came here, Jason Bay and Dr. Jones are the ones that had kind of turned me on to the church here, told me about what was going on. And they said, well, why don't you come visit? And so I came, and, when you first visit a place, it's kind of, you're nervous. Do you get that way if you don't know anybody?
Oh, yeah.
You kind of
Yeah,
walk
for
in.
sure.
So I was a little bit nervous. And the first thing that I did, I said, well, I want to go early, and I'll just go to the Sunday school class. And I'm thankful we still have Sunday school at churches. I think that's an important thing. And so I went to it was called the Brotherhood class. Now that sounds like one that sounds like one you and I'd both go to.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to a new church, where do you want? Man, I want to go to Brotherhood. That just sounds good.
Sounds like you don't wear shirts and there's something to do with blood. And yeah.
Brass knuckles.
Yeah.
It's like the video game Double Dragon.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I went to the Brotherhood class. Norm was there, and a guy named Tim Heston, and I connected with those guys right away. And Norm's hard of hearing, and when I was talking to him, he goes, "You'll have to speak up. I can't hear that well." And so now every time I see Norm on Sunday, one time Bridget was like, "Don't yell at him." I said, "Well, he told me to yell at him."
Yeah.
So on Sunday mornings, "Hey, Norm, how you doing?" He goes, "I'm doing good."
You're just doing what the man asks you to do.
Hey, if someone tells you to do something, do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, hey, we want to welcome you in, and we're going to tell you what to do this morning. Let us know you're out there. Say hello, send in a nice comment, and let us know what you're thankful for as we get rolling here on another episode of Good Morning Huntsville on a very, very faithful Friday. Great show lined up today as we roll on episode 539, feeling fine on 539 here. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. And, of course, could not be here on this very faithful Friday without our good friend, none other than the Billy Cauthen and our friends at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Billy, you told me a story on the special edition of Good Morning Huntsville for folks that pay extra, get behind-the-scenes access.
Yeah.
That we talk about that hasn't been implemented yet for 2 years. But you said you were at Aldi's the other day. Was that where you were at?
Yeah, I was at Aldi's.
Tell us what happened. I thought it was kind of neat.
Well, I was in line to check out, and I'm like minding my own business. Of course, there's like 12 people in front of us, right? And they all got buggy loads of stuff, and I have two things. And I'm thinking, well, surely the kindness and mercy of the people around me will be like, let's let this guy go first. No. So I wait my turn, and I get up there, and the lady behind me, she goes, "You're that guy." And I'm like, oh, crap. Ma'am?
Which one?
You're that guy from that podcast. I said, yes, ma'am. I'm on Fridays with Rob.
That's great.
Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, I got a little celebrity status there for a minute. I mean, she didn't ask for an autograph or an 8x10 glossy or anything. But
see, that's what I'm disappointed about. I was hoping that we need to print you up some things that you can carry in your pocket, Billy, like a baseball card size. It's got like a nice headshot of you, AI'd.
I don't think you could do a nice headshot. Yeah, you would have to AI it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you could AI it, and then there you go, man.
Like putting my head on a Superman body or something.
Well, carry those around, and then carry one of those either silver or gold Sharpies. I think silver would probably look, and then just sign that.
Oh yeah, real.
I think
like Zorro, man.
Is a fun gag gift. I think I may end up getting you some of those, man. We'll just it'll be action cards, Billy Cauthen.
Like in my suit with a cape flying behind me.
Yes.
Super director.
And when you said that, it brought up something kind of fun because I come across people that'll come up to me every once in a while and say things. And, we see, and we're so thankful for our faithful audience. We have a lot of folks who always join us, folks like Autumn and Carolyn and Jennifer Augustinetti, Kyle when he can. I know he's working a lot more now.
He's working a lot.
Ton, yeah. But we just have a whole plethora of folks who join us every morning that comment in. Quentin Glaze, number one engager. Jamie Saucier, who, by the way, we're praying for you.
Absolutely.
He had to bring Nina home. And that's what you mentioned this, and it brought it into a whole new realm for me whenever you said it's like family. Mm-hmm. And that's what this show has turned into. It's turned into a family. And when you have a need, Jamie had posted the other day that, he's had to bring his wife home, and unfortunately she's on hospice. And so we want our family here on this show. For those of you that pray this morning, pray for Nina and pray for Jamie. We just love them so much, and they've been such good friends to us. And and to this community. And the most important thing, they're both faithful believers.
Yeah, they've been a big staple to our community for a long time. So,
but that's the family aspect of it. But there's a lot of people like this lady that you say you didn't know who she was.
No, I didn't.
And there's people that come up to me that'll say things once in a while. So I know there's a lot of folks that watch, but they don't ever comment in. And so maybe that's the challenge this morning. You've been scared. You've been like me, walking into a new church for the first time back in the day here at First a couple of years ago. You've been nervous. And you just need someone like Norm to say it a little bit louder so I can hear you.
Yeah.
So this morning, just say it a little bit louder.
Say it a little louder.
Comment in this morning. Well, Billy, what's been going on, man? It's been a rainy, fun, soggy week, but what's been going on in your world?
Man, yeah, you're not kidding about the rain. I hate to say I'm about tired of it, but I know we need it. So I just wish maybe we could sprinkle some of this love into, July and August and September, with the rain showers every day.
I haven't had to turn on the sprinklers once this whole summer at the house.
I don't think the ones at the funeral home are on either.
And
I don't have sprinklers in my house, but my grass is just as green and getting about knee high, so we got to address that.
See, for me, the only reason that I have a sprinkler system is
It come with the house.
Came with the house.
It came with the house.
I'd never invest in that because, one, it's a lot of money that we don't have, and two, I don't know, I kind of like watering the lawn. You ever get out and water the lawn or water plants or any of that kind of stuff?
I enjoy a good water sprinkler. I do.
You just throw it out there, or are you out there with the sprayer?
I don't have the patience for the spray, but I got the one that looks like a tractor, and it moves as it goes.
Just inches along.
Yeah, and turn that thing on, let it go, and then go back, pick it up, and move it, and send it back.
See,
it's supposed to like ride on top of the water hose or whatever, but
never does work, right?
No.
Well, I remember back in the day, our neighbor, I don't know how he had this talent, but he'd always have a bush tall boy can. Mm-hmm. And he'd be on his riding lawnmower. Now, you'd think he'd have it in his hand, right? No, this guy was able to bite into it somehow. It must have had some sort of magnetic teeth. Well, it wouldn't work because it's aluminum. He'd bite into this thing, and you'd see him on his lawnmower cruising around his yard in the neighborhood. And they had about a 2-acre lot, so it was a lot of mowing. And he'd be on his riding lawnmower, Billy, just picture this, biting down on that can. And whenever he'd want to take a sip, he'd just toss his head back. Now, how do you do that?
Oh, that just hurts to even think about that.
I don't know how he did it.
No.
Never seen anybody else do it.
No.
And I started thinking, what if he was into watering his lawn, did the same technique? Had a sprayer.
Yeah. Adult beverages and lawnmowers don't exactly mix because you wind up getting dirt in your beer.
Yeah, I would think it would be something else, but that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I spent, I don't remember if I was talking about it on the show or not, but last weekend, Saturday, I realized my yard was a complete disaster. It had grown, and it's one of them street. You turn down the neighborhood, and you see all the other yards. Oh, look at this, and look at this yard. And then you see my yard, and it's the eyesore of the street. And I said, I got to fix this. The St. Augustine had grown over the curb. I mean, it was literally starting to grow out into the street. And the grass was tall. My excuse was if you let it grow, it turns to seed, so it betters your lawn. That was what I always used as an excuse. One neighbor came up to me, well, Rob, when you go mow your lawn? I said, well, I'm letting it turn to seed, so it'll fill out more, so it'll look better for the neighborhood.
I remember when I was a younger man, I don't know, 12 or 13, I got the wild idea to plant bluebonnet seeds in my front yard. Because as a child, you're told you can't mow those down. It's against the law. So I'm like, hey, if I do this, maybe I won't have to mow the yard. Them things never did come up.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
So you still had to mow the lawn.
Yeah.
Well,
every other weekend for the rest of my life.
And I'm still mowing.
Still mowing.
Well, man, I spent, Billy, I realized this is when you start realizing you're starting to maybe age a little bit. Something that normally would take me maybe 2 hours to do, because I mowed, I edged, I weeded, I did the whole 9 yards. And it's not a huge yard. We're out there in Elkins. It's not like I'm living on some acre. Our old house was on 3/4 of an acre, and that was a pain because there was brush, and we had a dry creek that ran through the part of the back of the yard. That was a lot of work. It took me 6 hours to do that lawn. And I was sitting more than I was mowing and weed eating, because I'd do like 10 little strips, and I'd be out of breath. And I went through probably 8 or 9 bottles of water during those 6 hours.
Wow.
And went to the restroom once. So that tells you how much I was sweating.
Yeah, you were getting after it.
And I came in, Bridget said, you look like a tomato. I said, I feel like a rotten tomato right now. And I just didn't realize how long it took to. I don't know, maybe that's part of getting older. Is there anything that you can think of, things that you used
Oh,
to
yeah,
do?
your endurance is just not what it used to be. I'm sure the people at the gym would like to help us with that, but no.
I was talking to our friend Nelson Amaya.
And I got to go see him today.
Uh-oh.
I got to pick something up.
Okay, good. I thought maybe a deer said hello to you or something.
No.
Don't ever say that you hit the deer, by the way. The deer hit you.
You know, it's funny who owns those deers, and then when they hit your car, it's no longer owned by the Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, shoot one I'm out of season, see who that deer belongs to.
But if it hits your vehicle,
It ain't nobody's deer.
it don't belong to nobody.
It's amazing.
Well, Nelson, he had told me we were at the Rotary installation, and yesterday I put a special little graphic up and said, congratulations to Bill Doggett, County Commissioner 3. He's now our Rotary president. Terry Coleman, who will be with us in a few moments, our real estate expert, she was there. But I was talking to Nelson. I was sitting with him, and I said, Nelson, I'm just tired all the time now. And Nelson said, well, I'm in my 50s now. And he said he started going to Snap Fitness or their Jeannie White, her gym over there. And he said, man, my knees used to hurt all the time and all that. And he goes, now that I've been on the treadmill and I've got up the endurance to run a little bit on that treadmill and lift some weights, he said, I feel a lot better. My knees stopped hurting. And as somebody who right now I can point out probably 20 places in my body that are hurting. Do you have that right now? Is there anywhere that you could think of that's hurting right now? You feeling pretty good? See, I don't know what it is. I've been like this since I was 20 years old. Right now, my arms right here are hurting. Every knuckle in my hand hurts. My jaws hurt, my neck, my back. I've just learned to live with it. My knee, my shin, even the tips of my toes. And I spent so much money I didn't have, ran up medical debt. By the way, if they say medical debt doesn't affect your credit, that's another hogwash lie because it truly does affect your credit. And I had ran up so much debt in my 20s trying to figure out all this pain. And finally, it came down to something that they said, well, hey, you're not the typical candidate of this because of your age and the fact that you're a male, but the only thing that we can say is it's a diagnosis of ruling out everything, something called fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. And so once they told me that, I knew it wasn't anything bad. I just quit worrying about it. But I'm in pain every day, and I've tried to change my diet. Somebody said fish oil. Pop said castor oil or whatever back,
That'll clean you out.
Just drink a little castor oil.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking which one, like 5W20? Which one?
GTX, baby.
Yeah, GTX. Full synthetic.
Yeah. I don't know. You're getting kind of high mileage.
But I think maybe that's it. Maybe I do need to, get on a routine exercise plan. But it's not easy, Billy, the self-discipline to get started on that. And that's, Jason and I were talking about this yesterday. It all starts with self-discipline. They got all these fads and all these, pills you can take and all these diets. But at the end of the day, it boils down to you having to have the self-discipline to do it.
Correct.
And that's something that I lack, that I struggle with big time. And I've not been able to master that. And I think for anybody out there listening, and I'm preaching to myself, if there's something that you've been trying to do, you have to master self-discipline first. Because if you can't master that in whatever area you're trying to do, it ain't going to happen. So I just don't know how to get the self-discipline going. Maybe Terry can tell us. Maybe she's got some hints.
I bet she's got it figured out already.
Yeah, she's already over there. She's got a little pen pad just writing down.
Write you out a prescription.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to take our first break. Terry Coleman here, our real estate expert, will join us. And let us know, just comment in how you are today and maybe your thoughts on pain and when did you first start noticing pain and how did you overcome it? Some people may never have. But Nelson told me, he said, all I did was hit the treadmill, Billy. The knees stopped hurting. So, and if you've never commented in before and you're that lady that ran into Billy, today's the day to say hello.
Yeah, please do.
Say hello to us this morning. All right, we're going to take a brief break. Keyword continues on. We're going to go back to Cafe Texan today. We've been giving away some Cat Cafe. Those have been hot this week, but we are switching gears and going back to Cafe Texan. And Billy, keyword this week.
Heat.
Got some heat.
Put some heat on that meat. Nothing to say with that?
No, I was thinking yesterday, I went to the baseball game, and you'd think there'd be hot dogs. They don't even walk around asking you if you want anything anymore. You remember at the ball game, they'd walk around with cotton candy, hot dogs, and drinks. They didn't ask any. You know what they were asking? Oh, would you like to buy the 50-50 raffle? That's what they were doing.
Wow.
They weren't. There was no hot, and it took me about 30, 45 minutes to finally find a hot dog.
Well, and this is just me guessing, but I'm going to assume that back in the day, those hot dog vendors were probably like independent contractors, and they would get a thing of hot dogs, and if they sold all of them, they would profit so much per thing. And I'm sure it's just like at our fine university now. They have a food service that's running all that, and they could give two less that, you know, because they get paid X amount of dollars regardless.
They don't care.
They don't care.
There's
a whole bunch of they don't care in our nation right now, and it's just sickening.
I was just here. I promise we won't take a break, but because I opened up this can, I'm going to talk about it real quick. You go to a baseball game, what do you expect? A hot dog, right? A hot dog. Now, some people want a beer. Some people they did have the sodas on the refill, but I was and you know what that hot dog ran? It's like $16 for a stinking hot dog.
Was it a foot long?
No, it's a regular one. Wow. Worse than ballpark. It's like $16, and then someone
paid $16 for a Bar S.
Yeah, no, it's like a Bar Z. It was the brand that's the leftovers of the leftovers.
Yeah, what Bar S didn't want.
Yeah, it's exactly. And granted, somebody said, "Well, it comes with fries." I said, "Those fries are worth 10 cents." Mm-hmm. And then you had to. And here was the deal. You talk about this is. You're exactly right. Whenever you said that so and so don't care. You would go to one area to buy. I saw this area and I bought a loaded baked potato. Right, the first thing I bought was a loaded baked potato. Look, and it was good. It was like some little meat line or whatever. You got me thinking about this whenever you said meat a while ago or heat on the meat. Well, I got this loaded baked potato and got a refillable cup at one area. The lady goes, "Well, you got to go down here to 231 to fill it up." Well, 231 is like, man, that's like 200 steps away. When you're walking at a ball, that's a pretty good walk. And I was at section 201 or something. I don't know. So I had to go 30 sections over. And then you have to get in another line to get your drink filled up. Well, the young lady running that tried to charge me for it. I said, no, this is a refillable cup. Well, sir, I got to charge you for it. I said, no, you don't understand. Here's my ticket. I bought it over here, and they said that I have to bring it over here to fill it up. And then some other guy comes around. He starts looking at it. So, oh, yeah, he's right. This is a refillable cup. So after that fiasco, I got it refilled, and then I saw a hot dog. I said, well, I would like to get that hot dog and fries also. Okay, so I get that. You'd expect the food to come to you, right?
Yeah.
The hot dog comes, but the lady that gives me the hot dog says, well, I'm not supposed to be doing the cash register. I'm supposed to be a runner. And then some other guy walks behind her and goes, aren't you supposed to be a runner? Yeah, I'm not supposed to be running the cash register right now. Just run the cash register. It's not hard. Just go ahead and run it. So she does. She tells him to get the hot dog. He forgets the hot dog, so she's grumbling. She turns around. She goes, I'll go ahead and get the hot dog. Now I'm the runner. I said, I don't care who you are. I just want my food at this point. So she gives me the hot dog finally, and then I start to walk off. I said, wait a minute. I paid $16 for this. Where are my fries? I said, and so I walked, and I didn't get back in line. I said, ma'am, I'm sorry. I got to cut you off. Ma'am, where are my fries at? I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. She was nice about it. She goes, here's your ticket. Now you take your ticket and go over here to this line. So I get to that line, Billy, to get my fries. Mm-hmm. There's a whole line of people that are starting to form behind me. 3 other people walk up, and they cut right next to me. This lady starts helping her. Everything's a cluster. And finally, after 30 minutes or so of this one little outing of just going to get something to eat and a soda, it's over after 30 minutes.
So you'll be watching the games on television from now on?
Yeah, there was two young people there, and they were about to blow a gasket, and they maybe had every right to because they were getting to run around like crazy. This lady starts yelling at some other guy. I've already given them a burger. I've already given them what else do they want? And the kid goes, I just want what I paid for. That's all I'm asking about. And that lady walked away like disgruntled. So you're right. These people are probably just getting paid pennies on the dollar, and it's like they could care less. But you still got to have some pride in don't work at a place if you don't have pride in your job.
Yeah, I mean, I understand sometimes you got to get a job, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're not going to put any effort into it, then don't show up.
So, yeah, just put the effort in it, all right?
Yeah.
That spurred the whole going back. Keyword is heat.
Heat. Sorry, people. Heat. H-E-A-T, heat.
Text in heat.
That's heat with an H, as in Huntsville.
Yeah, that's right. Heat, along with your name, to 936-339-0139. Again, that number's 936-339-0139. We'll take a brief break. Terry Coleman will join us on the other side. She'll sit down with Billy and I. Stay with us. More to come. It's your show, as always, on this very, very faithful Friday. It's brought to you by Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Hometown traditions and values. It's our family serving years since 2000. and 2. We'll be right back. Stay with us. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Hi, I'm Billy Cauthen, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is KHSP-LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville, from homes and hospitals to prison walls. That's the heart of Spirit Radio. We're a truly local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're raising $25,000 to build our tower and get on the air. With your help, we'll broadcast encouragement, truth, and the love of Christ across our community and across the world through the Spirit Radio FM app. Visit spiritradio.fm and give today. Let's bring light to Huntsville and beyond together.
This is Billy Cauthen of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
All right, friends, back as we continue on this morning, wrapping up another great week here in Huntsville on the Good Morning Huntsville program. Thank all of you for joining us and for sharing this broadcast. You know, we've been doing this for quite some time and still getting new viewers. And I went back and was looking at the stats, and some shows now are getting right at or a little bit over 1,000 views by the end of 24 hours across the platform. So we really do appreciate that. We enjoy reaching folks and promoting all the good, and also a little bit of ranting, but not too much here.
Just think if all those people filled out a pre-planning guide, how much easier their life could be.
You could do that pre-planning guide at
SHMFH.com.
Yeah. So, you know what? You're going to be...
Don't wait till you feel ill to call Bill. Go ahead and do it now.
If you don't fill that out, you're going to be SMHing.
For sure.
Shaking my head.
Yeah.
All right, Terry Coleman joining us here.
Good morning.
Our real estate expert. Look at the glow from Terry. The red glow is beautiful this morning. So
Well, thank you.
Good
Thank
to see
you.
you. Welcome back. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Well, before we get started, Terry always has something very special, and there you go, Terry. There you are. It's this one right here.
Yes.
You got to hold something up and give us a little something this morning that you got going.
Whether you want to borrow a cup of sugar or have some real estate questions, I'm your real estate expert.
That's
Give
it.
me a call.
That's it. And this sugar, by the way, we are raffling off the sugar now that Terry brings in here.
That's right, and it's real sugar.
How,
If you don't blame me, here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't do
how is the market right now?
The market's great.
Because I was just noticing it wasn't a full cup of sugar. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, we could use a few more sales so I could fill the cup
Yeah,
up.
exactly. Y'all come on down. Get yourself
Come
a
on
house.
down.
Hey, there was a before we talk shop, Billy. I don't think you were on this episode, but Terry it was on a Tuesday, I think, when Jason was here, and Terry came on and she brought this. And you remember what happened, Terry? It wasn't sugar. She said, "I ran out of sugar."
It's a flour.
She brought flour. So, but
Okay,
no one knew.
I thought it was going to be salt. So.
And I thought no one would know, and I'd be darned if Jason didn't call me out.
Yeah,
and
right
said-
away.
And said, "Is that sugar?"
Should have told him it was powdered sugar.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, Terry is our real estate expert, Terry Coleman, myrealtorterry.com for all the great things that Terry's doing. Last time you were with us, you were talking about that listing out at New Waverly. Billy, she had just this phenomenal. I was going to call you and say, man, we need to go hit up a couple of local banks, that wouldn't give us maybe more than 10 years if we got in trouble for what we were going to do and get that money and go buy this place at New Waverly. But that one's off the market.
Cool.
It sold quick, right?
That one sold in less than 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was, how many acres was that property?
It was 2 acres.
It was 2. It sounded like, but it looked huge, and it had a private little shop on it, like a whole little apartment home. It was beautiful. If I had the money, I would have bought it.
It was really, really cool. It would have been great as an Airbnb for people from the city coming down here and playing in the country and, living in a barn for the weekend. It was really an
Yeah, it
awesome
looked like
place.
a really nice place. What did that? Is it okay to ask what did that end up going
Sure.
for?
It went for $497,900.
Man, that was a steal of a deal. That's a steal of a deal.
Actually, it went for asking price.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, that's not bad then.
No,
they were asking
no.
a good price for
Yeah,
it. So
they were.
Well, that area, and the reason I bring this up, that area is really starting to grow. Huntsville obviously is growing, but that New
Yes.
Waverly area, can you shed some light into what's maybe happening in southern Walker County, because we're seeing a lot of growth throughout the county, especially in the New Waverly area.
Yeah. Just, Huntsville's moving. I mean, Houston's moving up. And so, of course, the first stop is New Waverly. And New Waverly has a good reputation for schools, and sports.
They have a good broadcaster over there, I've heard, for their schools.
So they have that good reputation. They also, there's a lot of new subdivisions coming in New Waverly, especially going out 150 towards the east, towards Cold Spring. There's a subdivision coming in there that's going to be around 400,000 and up homes. It's going to be sort of like a Texas Grand Ranch. But yeah, there's a lot happening there, and it's just because it's an easy commute. And if you have a piece of property that's close to the highway, easy to get on and out, that acreage around there is going at $40,000 an acre.
And that's pretty good price right now, right?
Yeah. The closer to 45. And then, of course, like where my house is, which is 3.8 acres away from, miles, 3.8 miles away from 45. My acreage runs about, where I'm on, runs about 20,000.
That's still not bad.
And when I bought it, 800 an acre.
Wow. Man. Billy, let's go back in time, man.
Oh, for sure. I'd buy up a whole bunch of stuff.
I'd invest in Bitcoin right away. I'd put like $10 on Bitcoin. Give me about 10,000 Bitcoins, and I'd buy up a bunch of land with it. I wanted to mention this because I know folks that I don't ever tell people what to do with their money because, one, I don't have money, so who am I to go tell other people what to do with their money, right? But I have told some people that I know that are doing pretty well financially. I said, you've got the resources. You need to do this. Start buying real estate.
Exactly.
There's no better. That's a bank account sitting there waiting to happen, and prices are not going down.
They're going to keep going
Instead of putting money into all this other stuff that's temporary, put money into real estate. If you've got the resources, do it. You've been doing this for decades, Terry, and you've seen
33 years.
Just like you said, $800 an acre, and now what is it, 20,000?
3.8 miles from 45.
Yeah.
If you're a mile or two, like the barn dominium was, $45,000 an acre in New Waverly. Yeah.
It's Billy. I had Terry. I may have told you this. I may have told you this too, Billy. But when I sold my little IT business in Georgetown, 2018, Lake Buchanan, the Highland Lakes out there in the Texas Hill Country, and man, I was driving through this neighborhood, and it was at Lake Buchanan, and some of the roads and the houses are on the lake, but you go up a couple, and I mean the neighborhood's not nice. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
But I had this gut feeling that I just randomly one day this property popped up on a Google search, and I don't even know why. It was on Zillow. I was just browsing around, the Zillow app.
Yeah.
Have you ever messed around with that thing? It's the Zillow app, and you see like all the stuff for sale. Well, I was scrolling through it, and I saw this. I was like, what is this? Like $1,800. What the heck is that? And it was by the lake. And so I looked into it. Sure enough, it was a little piece of property, small, 60 by 90, which is like 0.11 acres. It's not big at all. But it was out there. It's two roads away from it was up higher, 2 roads away down from the lake. And I started noticing there was tons of property around there for that cheap. And that one was, I said, you know what? I'm going to buy this. I didn't tell Bridget. We weren't married then. So, see, I could get away with this.
So you didn't
Billy.
have to tell her.
That's why we didn't. That's why we waited so long to get married, Billy, so I could make decisions without having to communicate. And so I had a little bit of extra money, not much, when I sold the business, but I just had this gut feeling that would be a great decision to buy that little piece of property. I've held on to that now. I bought it in 2018, and here we are, 7 years later. And I got an offer in the mail the other day. Someone was offering me $15,000 cash, no closing costs or anything. Just said, I will give you 15. And I get those letters now similar to that, probably once every 2 or 3 months.
And let me tell you, don't do that.
No, I'm holding on to it.
If they're offering you 15, it's worth a whole lot more.
Oh yeah, they've got it. When I first got this property, it was $30 a year that I had to pay in taxes. Now it's $200 a year. So that's what the value of it's went up. But
you're right.
It's
Invest
a bank
in real
account.
estate.
It's a bank account, is the way I look at it. Terry, I know Billy asked you, as far as the market, we've seen a lot of ups and downs. Maybe give us some insight on interest rates right now and what you're seeing here locally. Are people selling more? Are they buying more? What are you seeing out there?
Well, it is, it's a good mix. people are moving into Huntsville. Huntsville's growing. Walker County's growing. Our mayor here and our city council is doing a great job at promoting, and we're the next. We're already beginning to pop. In fact, last night, Max said, my son. I'm sorry, not Max. My son came in from North Carolina, and I was talking about how Huntsville was growing and everything, and he said, "Do you feel like it's turning like Conroe?" And I said, when Conroe started growing, yes, and in 3 to 5 years will be another Conroe. That's how much Huntsville is growing and is on the map to grow. But yes, sellers. We have a flood of buyers coming in, and this is a great time if you have a piece of property you want to sell. It's a great time. We have quite a bit of activity going on by sellers. Interest rates. What's happening right now? Interest rates are still like 5.5%, 6%, could be 6.5% depending on your credit. But what's happening right now is there's a lot of ARMs going on. So you can finance 5 years at a 5% ARM, and then, of course, in 5 years, it's going to go to whatever the market value is then.
So you can get locked into something early and then
so you can get locked in right now at 5%. Now, the new home builds, those are so many communities coming in. They are even doing interest rates like at 4, 4.5, if you use their mortgage company.
That's not bad.
So there's a lot of deals out there, a lot of good things going on.
Well, Billy and I are going to figure out a way to pull some money together and just go buy a bunch of land. We'll call you, Terry. So
Good.
Call me. We'll figure it out, Billy. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something. I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to come back and hear this 10 years later on YouTube, Billy, and I'm going to be like,
why didn't I do it?
Why didn't we go visit that little bank and just say, hey, we're not here. We're not.
With the ski mask and the.
Yeah, but not even that. Just say, hey, I just need $20,000, and just politely ask.
Oh.
And then you don't get in trouble because they'll just tell you no, and then you just walk out. But some of them may say, like, we need to give you the money, sir.
But it is true, because even myself, being in real estate as many years as I've been, I can even drive down 1374, because I live off of 1374, and see all the different properties that were up on the market years ago, and I can say, man, I should have bought that one. Well, there's a house in New Waverly, kind of close to that barn dominium.
Mm-hmm.
So now the acreage on that would have been about $45,000. I could have bought that house in '93 for $65,000.
Goodness.
Man.
There was a tiny little piece of property out in Trinity, and a little small 600 square foot house, and I was extremely tempted. This is when I first came to Huntsville, and I knew it wasn't a great area, but again, it's real estate, right?
Right.
And that thing, they had it listed for $25,000. And this thing was on like half an acre. It was a little 600 square foot shack that was falling apart. And I guarantee that thing's probably quadrupled in value. And it's probably worth $100,000 easily now.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice is call Terry if you got
me.
some sort of gut feeling, and let the real estate expert help you out. And I say expert because, Terry, you've been over in this area for over 3 decades now. You know this area better than anybody. So I wanted to ask y'all something real quick, and this is maybe a little opinion section if y'all don't mind.
Sure.
One thing that I've seen is there's so much development coming, and you notice it very prevalent when you're coming in on Willis. When you come through on 45 and you look over to Willis, you know where the new HEB is.
Mm-hmm.
And there was tons of trees, and those have been wiped out now. Do you think, and this is just a question, do you think property owners should be allowed to do whatever they want with that land, or should there be some sort of restrictions to keep some of the natural beauty? Because I was talking to Pop about this yesterday when we drove in. I said, I wish that there was something in place. I said, I'm kind of on the fence about what I think, because as a landowner, I should be able to do whatever I want with it.
Exactly.
But then at the same token, I don't want the natural beauty to be removed. So do you think there's a balance there? I mean, I'll ask you that, Billy. You've grown up in this area. Do you think about those things, or you just kind of go with the flow, whatever you should do with it?
I mean, I think about it. I like trees. And this is going to be a shocker for some people. I have no love for a pine tree. I could care less about a pine tree. They make beautiful lumber, and I think that's all they're good for is lumber. Sorry, there you go. Oak tree and sweet gum tree. I can't stand a sweet gum tree. But anywho, I love trees. I really do. And I just think like the way my yard looks, and then I think about my neighbor's yard. And if you say, do what you want to, you own the property, which I get that. You do own the property. You bought the dirt and the rock and the tree and the grass and the worms. You bought all that.
Exactly.
That's your dirt. Whatever's coming out of your dirt is yours. But if I have my place beautifully landscaped with my oak trees and the green grass, and my neighbor takes his down to just bare bones, ugly dirt, that's a reflection on my place because I'm right next door. We're separated by a fence.
Yeah.
So he's dragging me down because of what he's doing. So I don't know. It's just kind of, it's hard to have a formal opinion.
That's kind of where I'm at on it, because you buy the land, you own it.
Yeah, I mean, it's yours.
But you don't want it to go down in value either.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't next door to your house, you wouldn't give a crap what the guy did, But if it's, and I mean, I'm in a neighborhood. I mean, we don't have an HOA, we have an association, but it's not, it's more of just us working together if there is a problem in the neighborhood versus saying what you can and can't do.
And Terry, you're the expert on this. So when someone buys, like for us in Elkins, we knew going in that we were going to have the restriction. We chose there because we know that there's restrictions in place.
Right.
So those restrictions do protect a lot of neighborhoods.
Yes.
What have you seen from consumers over the years as far as it goes with HOAs? Are people more apt to buying in a neighborhood that has an HOA, or maybe your thoughts on some of that as well?
It just depends on the person and the personality. I have a lot of buyers that just say, I do not want an HOA. I don't want people telling me what to do or anything else, or whether or not I can have 3 cars in the drive, So, and there's places, that you can buy that don't have an HOA and still look good because it's the community that keeps it together. And then there's others that just say, it's a mixed bag. It just depends on your personality. Now, some HOAs, are much stricter than others, and so I get that. For example, the people that own the Barnuminium, they moved south. They're in Willis at one of the senior 55 plus places, but their homes and stuff, and it's a great neighborhood. However, you can't have a refrigerator on your back porch.
So that's already, I'm out.
They've planted trees and they've, along the fence lines of the yards. Well, you have to keep those. You can't just go cut them. Almost everything, they have to go ask permission. So I may have another house for sale soon because out in that area, because these are not people that's going to, that they're going to allow HOA to tell them.
Yeah, sure.
As a matter of fact, they got a refrigerator on their back porch.
Stocked.
And they've been
Stocked
there.
and loaded.
Bottled water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's, the thing about it is that there's something there for everyone, whether you want strict HOAs, half-ass HOAs, or you just don't want it.
Yeah.
But that is the thing. If you don't want it, that is what Billy said. You could end up with a neighbor, and it does bring your value down.
So if you're somebody that's looking, saying, I don't want anybody to mess with anything, and you found a bunch of land, those would typically be labeled like unrestricted, right?
Yes.
Or something like that, correct?
Yes. If you want an acre plus, that is usually in an unrestricted area.
And a lot of the unrestricted, of course, is outside of the city limits.
Exactly.
You could be in the ETJ, but if you're outside of the city limits, then you're pretty much.
Well, that's kind of what I'm running. I'm into the ETJ. And I'm proud of my house. I'm proud of my brick home. We got something to be proud of. We got a red and white brick home, metal roof, concrete driveway. By God, we have worked our ass off. We got something.
Yeah.
The sweet little old lady that lived next door to us, Miss Mensing, great family. God, they were a good family. Husband passed away.
Mm-hmm.
She got sick,
mm-hmm.
and her family put her in a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
But they wouldn't sell the property. Because Miss Mensing was going to get better. In her words, she was going to get better, and she was coming back home.
Mm-hmm.
That was
But no
10,
one came
15.
out to mow the yard.
Well, they tried. They tried it. It was once every 2 weeks, and then once a month, and then once a quarter, and then twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the house started caving in on itself. The roof went from being a beautiful black to a shiny silver to falling in on itself. From my house, you can smell the mold coming off of her place. They finally sold it for a stupid amount of money. I'm on 2 acres. I think she's an acre, but they sold that acre of land and a house that's falling in on itself that has to be condemned. There's nothing you can do with it.
Right.
For like $90,000. Stupid.
Now you better hope the buyer's not listening to you.
Oh, I hope he is, by God. I hope he is tuned in and in stereo and surround sound. Because they have trees that are leaning towards my property. Not a little lean. I'm talking about they had too much to drink lean. And I've asked the guy that's over there working on the property, who's apparently the brother of the guy that bought the place, I've asked him, hey, could you have your brother do something about these trees? Because I have a very good friend of mine who had a tree fall on his house.
2 trees.
And the tree was healthy, and his insurance didn't do anything.
No.
So I'm freaking out because that tree falls has hit my bedroom and 2 of my daughter's rooms.
Yes.
So we got to do something. Anyhow, they have started piece by piece disassembling this house. They've removed the windows. They've removed the copper wiring out of the house. So if any of y'all are paying attention, you know where we're going here. They're burning all hours of the day or night, but I'm not sure what they're burning because the house is still semi-standing. But I'm worried about that because their crack-a-palooza, I'm worried, is affecting the value of my home.
Yeah, it does.
No, not according to the fine people at the tax assessor collector's office or whatever. Right. They think I'm just getting better by the minute. But if I ever wanted to sell my place, and you come and look at my beautiful yard and everything's perfect and level, and my little bushes are trimmed to nice little square boxes thanks to my wife, and then there's this next door.
Yep. I'm just going to tell you that you got a problem.
You run into that.
And it is devaluing your property when people come. Because, the buyers, they want to know what's all around them, what they're going to. Yeah.
So to tie back into what you said, it's their property, right? They bought it. But they're screwing me over.
Yeah, it affects you. Yeah. And here's something that you brought up. And this is a good conversation. I know it's not an easy conversation sometimes to have with neighbors and all that. But I've learned through the process and our neighbor was gracious. He didn't have to do what he did. He gave me a check for a little bit. The insurance did pay some, but we still were well short. But when those 2 trees fell on our property, and we're lucky. He was a nice guy. Like I said, he came over and said, "Man, I'm sorry this happened." But according to the way the law works, it was our responsibility. Yep. But what I've learned through the process is if there's any inclination that something could come into your property, as long as you have that documented that you spoke with that person, then it could potentially become their fault because you've made them aware of it. And so that's something
think about
I'm not
the
a lawyer,
hassle you have to go through because you talked to them, to prove you talked to them. It depends on who the neighbor is. So what do they say about cutting the tree? Are they going to do it?
He's like, the power company should do that. I'm like, why would the power company do that? It's nowhere near a power line.
Yeah. So
okay, well, I'll talk to my brother about it. And that was it. That was 4 months ago and still.
Well, this is a good conversation, though, Terry, because sometimes you have to help folks navigate through some of these situations in the real estate world, right?
And that pine tree is as big around as this table, y'all. If it falls, I ain't going to be on your Friday show.
Yeah.
I'm going to be at Fair Cemetery.
Well, we'll cut it up and we can sell probably 100 tables out of it,
Easy.
So last week, I have a rent property down in Conroe at Lake Forest Falls subdivision, which is a cool little subdivision. But I had 2 dead trees. And she's told us about it, and then I forget, and because I'm not looking at it. So I've gone maybe 3 or 4 months, really probably more like 8 months, and didn't do anything about it. And then I was down there, and then I saw it, and then now it registered $2,300 to cut down.
Yeah, we're in the
2
wrong
trees.
business.
So everything's expensive.
Well,
right now, but 20. But you know what? It's still cheaper than if those trees had fallen on the house.
Sure.
And then I would be saying, man, why didn't I pay that $2,300?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is all good conversation because it's all things when you're looking for a new home, you need to have a real estate expert, somebody that has been there who's seen. There's always new scenarios. I mean, but you've seen almost everything, Terry.
Yes, yes.
And so go with an expert, someone who's been in the industry, someone who knows the industry and knows what to look out for. She's going to tell you, hey, by the way, you're going to guide people, obviously, to a good home and something that fits for them. But if there's something that comes up, you're going to tell them.
Exactly.
And that's what you do. So when you hear stories and things that we face with neighbors and other people, find a real estate agent that knows the area, that knows the properties, and knows what you need to look out for to save you headaches down the road. That's Terry Coleman, our real estate expert.
Thank you.
So, real quick, I did want to ask you something. Jewelry today.
Jewelry.
Do you know this with Terry, Billy? All right.
Well, so everything I wear is usually a gift or I inherited it from my mom. My mom's passed now. So everything I have on is, a gift. But this necklace right here, it's a little ruby.
Oh, yeah.
So the story behind this necklace is when my boys were growing up and they were young, they always bought for my birthday, Christmas, Valentine's, they always bought me jewelry. And my youngest son is very meticulous. It takes him a long time to figure out what he's going to buy and all this stuff. So Max had started taking them years ago when they were little to Walmart, and that's where all my jewelry came from, was from Walmart. So this was probably back in the early 90s when there was Foley's. Y'all remember Foley's?
Foley's Red Apple Cell.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I was with Remax in the Woodlands then, and so I came up with this idea. I told Max, I said, hey, I'm down in the Woodlands anyway. Why don't I get a Christmas part-time job at Foley's and work a few hours, and, I'll get the employee discount, and then our Christmas will be less expensive because I've got the employee discount.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Well, it was the most expensive Christmas that we ever had because, I was like, oh, shoot, I get 25% off this. And, there's no, everything I bought. So then Max brought the boys down to Foley's to do my Christmas shopping. And so they went to the jewelry store and the jewelry section, and they looked and looked and looked. Now, my oldest son, he's one of these that's like, ooh, that's a shiny object. That's pretty. Let's go. Get that. Let's go. Cody, he's like, oh, everything has to be, just right. And he has to think about it and all. So after about an hour of going from the jewelry section to the perfume section and trying on all this stuff, he looked at his dad and he said, Dad, this just isn't going to work for Mom. Take me to the goods store. Let's go to Walmart. So this is a piece of Walmart jewelry from back in the 90s.
That's
and
cool.
I absolutely love it. And I don't even know if it's a real ruby or not, but it doesn't matter. I love the story.
Those were back in those Walmart days.
Back when Sam was still there. You're good.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's made in the USA.
Yeah.
And he's driving his bird dog truck, through Bentonville, Arkansas.
Yeah, all right.
Can I plug something
Yeah,
real
please,
quick?
yeah.
Elkins Lake. I have a property coming soon. It's going to be single family. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and it has an absolutely gorgeous view of the main lake. It's going to be coming on the market for $298,000.
$298? Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah. It's an upside-down home, so it's a little bit odd. But yeah, the gentleman just wants to sell it, get going. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful view.
I'm not even over-exaggerating. That dropped my jaw because you don't hear of houses in that area now going under 300.
Okay, what's the upside-down home?
Like more levels up top
where
than
you
low?
Walk in, and you just kind of walk into the spot, and then you go upstairs, and that's your living area, kitchen. Yeah.
Well, that's typical in the Dakotas.
So
that's what when we went to North Dakota. Every house we looked at was that way.
Was it upside down?
Everyone. Well, you walk in. The only thing that was on the first level was the kitchen and the living room. All the bedrooms were upstairs. The washer, dry, everything. It was kind of weird. And then you went downstairs to more bedrooms. So it was kind of like a weird.
What do they call that? A split level?
Yeah, some sort of a split level thing. So. Well, cool. $298. Go to
$298.
myrealtorterry.com. When's that listing going to go live?
It's going to go. He's doing some work on the property, so it's not going to go live for about 15 days. But call me. I can still show it to you, and we can get this done before it even goes live.
Yeah, that's great.
So
that happened when we sold my grandmother's house. The real estate agent.
That's right. I've heard that.
Yeah,
story.
we were gonna get it in the MLS and all that stuff. And Annette said the neighbor wants to buy it right now, no closing costs or anything. And she's offered. She saw me out here doing stuff and asked if y'all were gonna sell it, and I said yes. And she told my mom, she said, "Look, I'm in the business of wanting to get the most money, obviously, like you." And she goes, "But this is too good of a deal." She's like, "I don't even think we should list it. Let's just sell it." And so we did. We trusted her. That's why it's good to have a trusted expert in this area, like Terry.
The other key thing is that this owner is an out-of-town owner, so he's a little more negotiable, but he's in the mortgage business. So unless you're going to pay cash and you're getting a mortgage, if you use him for the mortgage, use his company for the mortgage, you can get a little more discount on the purchase price.
Nice. There you go.
So there you go.
My realtor, Terry Coleman, our real estate expert. And when you think real estate, think Terry here in Walker County. She's also helping out in Montgomery and other surrounding counties as well. So don't just think Huntsville, but she's all over the area.
Thank you.
Terry, good to see you.
Good to see you.
And I love the glowing red today. It's beautiful red today.
Thank you.
Well, we'll take a break.
With my Walmart jewelry.
Billy and I are going to talk about a little 45 thing going on. Billy's got a good rant about a 45 issue yesterday.
I want to stay and listen to this.
And we're not talking presidential, 45, 47, but just something to do with the number 45 that happened recently. Is
Colt 45?
Maybe. I don't know. 45. Stay tuned. Billy's going to tell you about it. Before we do that, though, the key word this week, we're going to give away Cafe Texan to wrap up this week. It's heat. Text in the word heat along with your name. Your chance to win $25 to Cafe Texan. And all you got to do is text in that keyword heat to 936-339-0139. We'll take one final break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville here on a very faithful Friday.
Hi, I'm Billy Cauthen, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church, Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
This is Billy Cauthen of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and you're listening to Spirit Radio, the spirit of Huntsville.
The spirit of Huntsville, spiritradio.fm.
Alrighty, we'll keep that train going right around the bend. I can't talk, Billy. Choked up.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Doggone it. You start thinking of Johnny Cash, and if you don't get choked up, you ain't American.
That's right.
Well, Billy, I wanted to allude to something here. I ain't no alluding to it. We'll just get right into it. You already know our story. Yesterday, we're down enjoying a little time at the ballpark, and traffic's backed up on the way out. By the way, HPD, I respect our police officers 100,000%, but HPD has got to do something about directing traffic out of those games.
And that would be the Houston Police Department.
Houston Police Department, yes. And I respect them. Don't get me wrong, but Billy,
our Huntsville guys got it together.
It took an hour and 15 minutes just to get out of the park. There was nobody directing traffic. In that little under 59, that little turnaround, you come across, and here's Daikin Stadium or whatever they call it. I still call it the juice box, but you're right here, and there's all these lights. There needs to be somebody flowing traffic, man.
Have you ever seen the videos where people get out of their cars with their reflective vest on and like direct traffic until their friend gets past it and they get back in?
No, we need to start doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Well, that combined with an incident on 45 yesterday, now being known as Grambo.
Yeah.
Billy, your thoughts, and tell us the story. What happened yesterday on I-45, just outside of Spring or somewhere?
Well, apparently this sweet little old lady was driving her vehicle down 45 and decided to make an abrupt left-hand turn directly in front of an 18-wheeler. As you could imagine, her car sustained some slight damages. I think it was ground to a pulp. However, sweet little old grandma gets out of her car, grabs a folding chair, and commences to sit in the middle of 45 with a loaded gun. So now not only do we have a traffic accident, we have a complete standstill. I don't know what her mental health condition was, but I do know this. That pisses me off. Because you're having a bad day. I get it. You're having a bad day. Your little old Geo Metro is now ruined. But you have now stopped everyone else coming from the waters of Galveston all the way to where you pulled your stunt in Spring, Texas. How inconsiderate can you be? Because you're having a bad day, you want to punish everyone who has to travel for work, family, pleasure, school. My son, being one of them, is now stuck in traffic for 3 hours because you're having a bad day because of a dumb action you did. So yeah, there's my... homegirl got out, got a folding chair, and sat in 45, facing the traffic with a gun.
Yeah. And Billy,
I've been mad before. Some of y'all have seen that mad. But I've never wished harm or the impeding flow of traffic on anyone.
I just, I think about, you mentioned something, a key word. And Jason Bay and I have talked about this on Thursday.
What, Geo Metro?
No, yeah, we've talked about Geo Metro. No. Do they still make those?
No, of course not.
Still around, man. But Pop and I were talking about this when we heard about it. We were driving back, and we got delayed too. It took us 3.5 hours to get back to Huntsville yesterday. In a normal drive, that'd be an hour and 15, 20 minutes.
It would have been one thing if she'd have done this at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, where everyone had kind of got through that area. But she did it at prime time, man.
Did this start because of the accident, or did she forced the accident to happen on purpose and then did this? That's what I want to know.
She didn't take my phone interview, sir. I'm not.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on comments from her attorney.
Eventually, thank goodness, nobody was hurt, and they eventually apprehended this lady, and she's in custody
without
now.
incident.
Without incident. Besides the incident of everybody, being
pissing everybody off.
Yeah. And the access roads, they were eventually having to send vehicles back the other way, and 18-wheelers turning around and coming back down the access road to go around all of this.
That's why we need to have a killdozer on standby.
I watched that movie a while back, but I was talking to Pop and Jason Bay, pastor here at First, and and it's a very serious thing, that mental illness is running rampant throughout not just our nation, but everywhere now. And
you see it everywhere.
And I was telling Pop this, and look, and here it is spiritually. The Bible talks about how the enemy attacks us through our mind, and it's true. And so here we are with tons of mental illnesses in our nation nowadays. And I think now is the time more than ever, and we're seeing it, that people are turning to Christ. And you have to guard your mind, because those things will eventually come in, and whatever comes into your mind, if you're not careful, will eventually come out of your heart. And we saw that yesterday with this lady. And God knows whatever she's been through, but mental illness is such a serious, serious problem. And here's what I told Pop yesterday too, Billy. The problem is a lot of it is what we're put in front of nowadays, I guess is one way to word it. And what do I mean by that? I'm on Twitter one day, just on Twitter, scrolling. And there was this mass shooting that was complete. And what's going to happen if you're scrolling on? I'm not searching show me mass shooting pictures or anything like that, right? I would never do that.
You're looking for pictures of puppies, right?
No, I'm just scrolling through.
Oh, okay.
I was just scrolling through Twitter and reading stuff about the San Antonio Spurs and some other stuff. And then all of a sudden, there's a video here, and it's a shooting. And the human reaction isn't to, scroll real quick. The human reaction is, what is that? That's piqued my interest.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I do? I tapped on it, and I saw something unimaginable that I wish I would have never seen. And the more that we're exposed to that kind of stuff, I think plays a very important role in why there's so much going on with people now. Because we're exposed, Billy, to stuff that we have never been exposed to before. Technology is getting out of control.
Yeah, your AI is really out of hand. Okay, let's ride with me. Just ride with me for a second, okay? The news media. When you tune in to the 10 o'clock news, you're not, they don't have stories about the family that went to the park and had a great day and nobody got sunburned, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all gloom and doom and bombs and, so yeah. And it's advertising. They are advertising this stuff. Same way when you're scrolling and you see an advertisement for a big, juicy Sonic burger and it's got the little water droplets on the lettuce. It makes you, man, I wish I had that hamburger. It's the same thing with the news. They're showing all this stuff, and yeah, we are consuming what we see. They're reading this, just like that old song, talking about the news or what. It's bad, man, and as long as we're watching that or getting exposed to it, it's only going to get worse. Because that's what we're seeing, and unfortunately, it has become a norm. Yeah, they're feeding us. They're feeding us exactly what they want us to see. We're reacting exactly the way they're teaching us to react. And think about it. If they didn't have that for us to watch or for us to react to, they wouldn't have a job. So the more they can upset us and glue us to the tube, the more the ratings they're getting. They're not doing it for the benefit of the people. They're doing it for the benefit of them.
It has completely gotten out of hand.
It has.
It's gotten completely out of hand, and and there are tools now. I want to show you something, Billy. This was a joke yesterday because I was talking to somebody.
See, look, and I'm scared to watch stuff like that now because AI has done so much. I don't know if that's actually that guy talking.
Well, exactly, and I was joking with somebody yesterday. I'm going to show this to the folks here, and I hope you can hear this. I hope y'all will be able to hear this. But yesterday, someone said, "Man, one day you might be preaching at a big church." I said, "Well, I don't know about that. I'll go wherever God calls me, right?" But I said, "Well, it's funny," and I was joking around. I said, "Well, it's funny you said that because I was watching this this pastor on TV, and here's what he said."
Rob Hip, one day.
No, hold on. Why did I do that? Hold on. It didn't play the music, Billy. Here we go. All right, here we go. You ready? So it was a joke. I said, "It's funny you said that. Listen to what this guy said."
Rob Hip, one day you will pastor a church like this.
Do you think that's real?
Yeah, and just think about like all the news that we're watching. Rob, when you first started jacking with AI, man, I told you, I said, that stuff scares me.
Yeah.
And that's still my stance. It scares me because that looked just as real. And there's a backstory. This Rob sent me some little videos that he created when he first started messing with AI. And it had me and him in the video.
Fighting.
And then there were some beautiful ladies that came to speak to me on the subject matter in the same videos.
Yeah.
And it's very scary because it looked very real, the same way that did. So if that clip gets leaked to the media, they could make that guy say whatever he wanted to say.
Exactly.
And now, Johnny Huntsville here, I'm going to believe it, right? Because I saw it. Believe some and none of what you see, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I mean, I saw it with my own eyes and I heard it with my own ears. But yeah, man, they're feeding us what they want us to have.
It's taken a mind of its own, and it's good, but it's also absolutely bad. Just like anything, it can be used the wrong way. But yeah, somebody had told me that, and then sent that, and I thought it was funny. It's the truth though. That technology, Google has came out with this new thing called VO3. And the technology is absolutely
we used to have VO5 when I was little. You put it in your hair.
Oh, yeah, Vidal Sassoon.
Yeah. And splash on some Brute and go to bed.
Yeah. You don't even have to, back in the day, you didn't even have to take a bath.
Yes, Kyle Kreiner, y'all just jumped with the VO5 hot oil treatment.
Yeah, there you go, man. Back in the, you didn't even have to take a bath. You just threw that on, throw on some Brut. You were ready to go.
Yeah, man, a little splashy. Off you go.
One thing real quick, and then we'll head over to the phone line. I wanted to ask you about this because I do this, and I saw this come up on some of the prep work real quick. And
we need to probably come. Miss Dillard, she was taken into custody
the
without
lady.
incident. Yeah, the lady from 45. I'm sorry, I was reading a comment there. So
I wanted to ask.
I don't want Phyllis mad at me. So
yeah, Phyllis, we got you. I wanted to ask you about this real quick. And I had this pulled up a while ago, and now I can't find this. I remember what it said. We all have cell phones now. We all have clocks in our home. You know, we got a cuckoo clock or whatever. I always wanted one. I got one when we sold a house because it reminded me of my grandmother, and I love that clock.
I got a funny story on that going.
But I always set my clocks 10 to 15 minutes ahead on purpose. Mm-hmm. And to me, it serves a purpose because it reminds me that when that thing goes cuckoo, then I know it's the half the hour mark. And I know if I hear that thing go cuckoo at 6 a.m., that it's 6:30, and I better be out of the house because if not, I'm going to be late. But I've also set it ahead quite a bit. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I still got 10 more minutes. So I wanted your thoughts, Billy. Should you set your clocks ahead like that? Now, your cell phones, they're going to do their own thing. They're going to sync up and do all that. Should you set your clocks ahead, or should you just keep them this time that it's supposed to be?
Let me tell you, because I used to do that. I used to set mine 5 or so minutes fast, especially the one in the car. But just within the last year or so, I've had a realization that I'm a full-grown adult male and that I need to be responsible for my own actions and my own doings, and that clock needs to be on the government-appointed time, and I just need to do a better job of getting off my hump and getting where I'm supposed to be because I am an adult, and I don't need any type of little trinkets or specialties or rewards for doing what I'm supposed to do or any type of help. I need to be responsible for my own actions, and I need to get off my butt and get it done. So, yes, all my clocks are set to the Central Standard and Atomic Time.
Syncing up.
Yep, thank you.
Now, I said something about a cuckoo clock. You said you had something to share about that.
I have a clock at my house that belonged to my mother and my father, and it chimes. Well, for the last 20, 30 years, the chimes have been cut off. Well, recently I replaced it. It takes a battery. Big D-cell battery, big Duracell.
$20 a battery now.
Yeah, pretty much. But when I replaced the battery, there's a switch in there to turn the chimes back on. And I said, well, I'm going to turn these chimes on. My kids spent days trying to figure out where that noise was coming from. James, Dad, there it goes again.
They finally figured it out.
I finally told them.
Man.
I enjoy a good joke as much as the next person, but it's even funnier to tell them.
And they never knew that.
Never knew. Well,
I love
you got to think about it. I mean, clocks don't make sounds.
Oh, that's classic, man. Well, all right. Well, hey, it's been a fun one. Let's head over to our phone line. We have a winner today, a little Cafe Texan coming your way.
Good morning.
Yes, it's Wilma Jean Farrell here along with Billy Ander.
Yes, what can I do for you ladies this morning?
This is a horrible lady accent by me. I'm sorry.
In today's society, you got to be careful.
Hey, can we please get back to the names of like Wilma Jean Farrell? I mean, those are classic
Double names?
Yeah. Wilma Jean Farrell. That just sounds like a name that sounds like a name that should be in a distinct. You know what, Liz? The biggest crock of anything ever invented is the Who's Who book, because they don't come looking for you. They send you, they don't come just trying to find you. They send you something saying, "Hey, nominate yourself," and then they accept you, and you got to pay a fee.
Yeah.
So isn't that great?
So my family still goes by names like that. Like I'm Billy James.
But that's a good name.
Yeah.
But I really want a Wilma Jean Farrell. I think that Wilma Jean Farrell just sounds like somebody that's working hard, like Sarah Plain and Tall back in the day. Mm-hmm. You know? So, Liz Spear.
Well, you had a chance. You didn't name your daughter that.
I know. I couldn't do it. Braylon worked out better, so I didn't want the poor little thing to be teased.
I got to name James, and by naming him, I gave up all naming rights from all other children and dogs we were going to have the rest of our life.
That's it.
Yeah. And I didn't
Well,
even get
there
to
you
go
go.
with the middle name I wanted. So.
Well, Liz Spear, our winner today. Liz, what are you doing? I hear a lot of stuff knocking around. Are you working like putting up drywall, or what are you doing?
She's beating up Noah, probably.
No, the drywall's done. Now we're painting trim, so we're putting trim out so we can paint it.
You know, Liz is like always helping her dad remodel and fix up house. I mean, she's a hard-working young lady.
I don't know. I didn't see her helping him load up lumber at Home Depot yesterday morning.
Oh, yeah. Where were you at,
Yesterday?
Liz?
Yeah.
Where was I yesterday? Yesterday I was sitting in traffic taking my sister to the airport.
Oh, you were waiting on that lady in the lawn chair.
Yeah, you were stuck.
Yeah.
You were stuck in the lawn chair incident.
I was actually I'd already dropped her off, so I was on the northbound side, so we weren't quite as.
Yeah, but
in a
you had the
pickle
rubber.
as the
You had
southbound.
the rubberneckers though. You know, sitting there.
They're the
stuck.
worst.
They're the worst ones.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Well,
Yeah.
Liz Spear, our winner today. How about $25 to Cafe Texans? Does that sound all right?
Excellent. Sounds great.
You know what sounds even better we're not doing the Billy Cauthen, lunch bunch today, so I think it'd be better just give it to Billy and let him go out and have lunch on your winnings. That'd be wonderful.
That sounds
Wouldn't
great
that?
to me.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah. Well, Liz, we appreciate you. You and Noah, your dad, y'all are just and your mom, y'all are just a wonderful family here in Huntsville. Liz, you're always stepping up and helping people, and so I just want you to know as a friend, thank you for all that you and your family do here in Huntsville, Texas. Huntsville. Liz, real
Anytime.
quick, before Billy's going to have a question. Before he does, can you just give us a real hearty Huntsville real quick? Can you say that for us?
Welcome to Huntsville.
that's hearty.
We'll get her there.
Well, Billy's got a question for you.
Liz, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful that when there's a need in this town and people say it, people step up.
I like it.
And your family definitely does that.
In
We try.
Huntsville.
Huntsville.
When's the last time you
See,
had
y'all are putting too many letters in. It's Huntsville.
Huntsville. Liz, when's the last time you had a hearty bowl of Huntsville? Well, that's too long, sister.
Tell your dad everyone from the CB Club said 10-4.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I will.
Good buddy club's up and going. We'll see you. Have a blessed day, Liz.
All right. Y'all do.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, we need to make fake
Membership cards.
Yeah, membership cards for the CB Club, Huntsville CB Club. And when we write Huntsville, it'll just say Huntsville, Huntsville CB Club.
There you go.
All right. Well, Billy, I know you've got a busy rest of your day.
I do.
No
Very
lunch bunch.
busy.
We'll get back on the lunch bunch maybe next week. It's been a few weeks. I missed doing that. But I did want to take the time to kind of switch the tone and just let folks know about Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. You guys are here, and we cut up and have a good time, but there's always a serious part to what you do and what we do, and maybe just let folks know a little bit about how they can connect with you and when that time comes, how you guys are helping families.
You are always more than welcome to come visit with me one-on-one at my office at 1700 Normal Park Drive, private office. We can have a conversation. We make it as quick as you want or as long as you want. It's totally up to you. I'll talk about whatever, however, I will help you any way I possibly can to take the burden off your family when that time does come. It's going to come. None of us are going to get out of this alive. I'm sorry to break that news to people. If you are a believer, there is something for you on the other side. Again, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that as well. But just come see me. If you don't want to come see me, if you just want to call me on the phone, I'll gladly take notes and start a file. Or if you want to go to our website and do it in complete privacy, it's SHMFH.com, which is the initials of the funeral home, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Fill it out. It'll auto-start a file. If you put on there, don't contact me, nobody will contact you. We won't even look at it. We'll just file it away. When the time comes, we'll have your directions and what you want, and we'll know what to do, and we'll be able to provide that to your family.
That's it. If you're looking for a family that's going to take care of your family, and I mean this because I know Billy personally, and we joke around, but I'm going to tell you.
He loves to get me started on rants. For those of y'all that don't know that, he wires that stuff up early in the morning.
We get that lawnmower
He is an
going.
electrician. He will wire this thing
Right.
up.
I'm putting a 50 amp in the breaker
I
right
will
this
say
weekend.
things that I would never say in my normal life.
I got 6 gauge going to that 50 amp breaker
Yeah,
right
buddy,
now.
double lot.
Yeah, that's
Light it up.
But I mean this, when you think of a family that's going to take care of family, it is Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. And I think of this word when I think of you, Bill, and I mean this. You hear this word, and I think it's reserved for the best of the best people. The only thing that I think is salt of the earth, and that's how you treat people. You're salt of the earth, Billy, and everyone over there is. that's what kind of you're going to be shown.
We are a family serving your family. We do take this very seriously. When you come into our care, you were treated as family. You were loved. You were admired. Your whole life is celebrated. It is not a joking matter. It's a very serious situation. We take none of that lightly. You get us the whole way through. We don't hand you off. I mean, we're everything to everyone. We just, if you please give us that opportunity, we will not let you down. I mean, we are full service. We do your traditional casketed earth burials. We're cremation specialists. We do. A lot of people don't know that we do cremations, and I mean it all stays with us. It doesn't get farmed out. You are part of our family, and you're treated as such.
And I want to one thing. I'm not putting anybody down, but when you're driving down the interstate and you see a big sign that says cremation starting at $1,000 and full service starting at $5,100, that's just
yeah. Come by and let me show you how that works.
That's bait. That's bait and switch.
That is bait and switch.
And so go to somebody who's going to be up front with you. I don't like dealing with businesses that always do that. Well, hey, for $25 you can do this, and then you get in there and it's like, well, that's just the initiation fee.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that to you, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. There's no bait and switch. It is what it is.
When we quote, and I have to tell people this all the time, when we give you the price, when you inquire the price, we tell you the price, and you're like, well, it's so does it? Correct. Yes, they do. I know our price seems a little higher right now, but that is everything. There's no, oh, by the way, do you have your own? No, that's us taking care of everything from start to finish. We do not leave you high and dry. We do not put your loved one in limbo. There is no bait and switch. It is a complete turnkey. You are entrusting us with your most precious thing you have, which is your loved one. We are not going to let you down. We're going to do exactly as you wish for us to do, and we're going to execute that perfectly.
And I say this again, not putting anything down on the interstate way outside of town, as I saw coming into town, the other day.
Oh yeah. There's a big bridge you kind of go across.
Somebody's got to pay for that billboard, and that billboard ain't cheap.
How do you think they're doing now?
Yeah, that billboard ain't cheap. So that's just a FYI for you. But give Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home a call. I've known Greg and Billy and their whole family for many, many years since I came here, long before they supported anything, and I've been supporting them since day one, long before they ever sponsored anything that I ever even had my hand on. And that's what I love. I can sit here, Billy, and I can be genuine on this show every single morning because the folks that we have partnered with us, many of them, especially our foundation sponsors, I knew them long before we ever did anything. And so I'm not just sitting here promoting somebody because they're writing us a check to help us promote the good. I'm saying it because I mean it. And you know what? When I'm talking about these organizations and these people, that's on me too. And so, I'm making sure that I'm partnering with people who I go to sleep with at night knowing that, man, I talk good about those people. And I didn't make up one single thing.
Yeah.
That's the way it is with Billy. That's the way it is with Greg, everyone at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. So that'll wrap it up, brother. Thank you for that, man. Great week. We'll be back at it. Kyle Kreiner here in the studio came by to say hello. And I've got to wrap it up and pack out. And 30 minutes down the road over to KHOV. I'm doing a little interview with the new home builder here in town today. So we'll be putting that out on our social media feeds next week. So I'm looking forward to it. As we end every show, reminding you that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own, Billy. We're really not. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you. We will see you guys on Sunday, either here at First or over at
Christ the King.
Christ the King. And get into a good church this weekend. I promise it's going to help you out. Something's going to change in your life if you find a church to get plugged into this weekend. Love you, Huntsville. Good morning. God bless. We'll see you back on the other side. So long. See you, Billy.
See ya.